Hello YouTube. I'm going to do a quick video about how anyone, rich or poor, can get started getting off the grid. The first thing you're going to want to do is owner finance some land. I owner financed 2 acres of land for very, very cheap. You do that by buying land in the middle of nowhere, raw land with nothing on it. I got my 2 acres for around $5,000. I owner financed it with the owner of the property. The contract said about $100 a month was what we agreed to, but of course I made it out that way so that I made sure that I could always make the payments and never lose the property. But I actually paid way more per month than that. I paid as much as I could, $500 one month, $1,000 another month. Whenever I'd get my tax money, I would pay extra, a few thousand at a time, and very quickly, within probably 8 months or so, I owned the property flat out cash. Okay, so when you're trying to get off grid, you got to do things in order of priority, which would be shelter. Oxygen is free, obviously, so shelter, water, then food. So water, what you're going to do is you're going to find a cheap source of sodium bentonite. Shelter, at first you're going to live in your car or your van while you're getting the property ready. That's how you get cheap land, is getting land with no water, no electricity hookup. So you're going to ideally have a van, get you a cargo van, set up a little cot in it, some jugs of water, some freeze-dried food that you can cook easily off-grid. So that's shelter. Then you're going to get yourself a shovel, start digging. Unless you have money to hire an excavator, you're going to start digging. And you're going to want to get a bunch of bags of sodium bentonite. Bunch of bags of sodium bentonite. Once you get a bunch of bags of sodium bentonite, you start shovel digging some ponds. And what sodium bentonite is it's a type of clay. It's a very dry powder. When you lay it in a hole, first time a big rain comes, or a bunch of little rains, it starts to absorb the water and it makes it into a seal, just like a tarp, but one that lasts forever. Okay, so you're gonna lay sodium bentonite. I haven't laid it out yet because I'm still digging. I'm still shovel digging, pickaxe digging, and raking a pond. This section right here, I've got it already about 5 feet deep. This section right here, I just started this morning, is only about 2 foot deep. You can see that big pile of dirt right here. You just start shovel digging, and then you layer that hole, once you've got it as deep and as wide as you want it, with sodium bentonite. The first rain that comes will hold that water forever. Forever meaning as you drink it, use it, water your garden with it, every rain that comes will replenish it, as long as you calculate how many inches of rain you get per year on average in your area versus how deep you want to make the pond or how shallow you want to make the pond. Okay, then you're going to want to call a bunch of local tree services and tell them that you want them to deliver and dispose of their chipped branches and leaves from trees, wood chips like this, and they'll drop them off for free most of the time. Okay, just piles and piles and piles of chipped branches and leaves. And for instance, I just started shoveling those just this morning, and we got this so far. You pile it up in the shape of a raised bed garden, and what's going to happen is every time it rains, I piled it around some wild onions that I planted last year from some wild onions I found in a field of my girlfriend's grandfather's acreage. You pile these wood chips up, and they act as a mulch, and they soak up every rain, and that causes them to water your vegetables and fruits for you. You never have to water this kind of garden. You never have to till it. You never have to water it. You never have to weed it. You never have to use pesticides or herbicides, because every time it rains, you never have to fertilize it, because every time it rains, it holds up water and it waters your plants for you. Every time it rains, compost tea leaks out of the wood chips and fertilizes the plants. Anytime a weed pops through, first of all, you layer it up so thick that no grass or weeds grows through it. Second of all, anytime weed leaves land on the top of it from you walking on it or anything like that, you just dump some more wood chips on top of that. You don't have to weed it. So it waters itself, it weeds itself, it fertilizes itself, and eventually it breaks down into really, really good compost pretty quickly. So you get some land, owner finance it. Till you own it, you make payments, and you pay it off as quick as possible. Get yourself a shovel, a pickaxe, and a rake, and you start digging. And you dig a pond hole. You line it with sodium bentonite, not calcium bentonite, sodium bentonite. And when it rains, you will get a big giant pond, well, as big as however wide and deep you dug the hole, okay? And then you call local tree services and you ask them to dump as many wood chips, chipped branches and leaves as they can dump. Some of them will only do so if you allow them to dump stumps and things like that too. And you know what? That's good for off the grid. That's free firewood they're delivering you. With free firewood, you can cook, you can heat your house, you can do all kinds of things. By the way, with piled up wood chips, when they're sitting in a pile before you spread them out to make compost, they produce lots and lots of heat. You can run hoses through that and run water through that from some of your ponds, and it will heat the water naturally. And then you have free hot water to take hot baths, hot showers with. You can make an outdoor off-grid jacuzzi with that. You can make an indoor hot shower with that heats the water without electricity. You can do your dishes with that hot water that's heated by the compost pile by running the hose through the compost pile in a coil shape. So you'll have your land, you'll have your water through sodium bentonite, and a hole you dig that you line with sodium bentonite. Eventually, that sodium bentonite filled hole will turn into a pond like this one. Where you got a free water source for all your animals. By the way, aside from your no-till vegetable garden with mulch from chipped branches and leaves, another food source if you're not vegan, if you're not whole food plant-based, is raising animals and using them as off-grid lawn mowers. They mow your grass for you. Here's what the sodium bentonite will do. You can leave the water murky if you live in a place like Oklahoma where there's red clay in the soil, or there's lots of natural off-grid ways you can filter it to make it look clear, crystal clear. You can use solar pumps and biofilters and things like that I'll discuss in other videos. But yeah, the sodium bentonite will hold water, and you'll end up having a big free water source like this that you can water your house yourself, clean with, cook with, bathe with, water your animals. With those animals, you have a free meat source, you have a free milk, egg, cheese, yogurt, dairy, ice cream source. If you have chickens, you'll have free eggs, free meat. If you have turkeys, you'll have free eggs and free meat. So we've taken care of how to get the land, taken care of the shelter. At first you'll be living in a van. Then you'll come out in your van with your shovel, your pickaxe, your rake. You'll start digging a hole. You'll start lining it little by little with sodium bentonite. If you don't have access to sodium bentonite in your area and you don't want to get it shipped to you, then a lot of good cat litters, if you look at the ingredients, they're just made of sodium bentonite. And you can just buy those pure sodium bentonite cat litters that don't have any other additives. You can use that to line your pond. And you've got a water source, you got shelter, water. You call the tree service, get them to deliver piles and piles of chipped branches and leaves. You spread that out into garden bed shapes. Then you got an unlimited set it and forget it organic vegetable and fruit garden that you do not have to water, weed, fertilize, or use pesticides or herbicides on. And once you get all that accomplished, you can buy a cheap mobile home, owner finance it, or just buy it cash for a couple $1,000s. My first mobile home that I put out here, I got for $3,000. My second one's a nicer one, and it was more expensive than that, but I didn't need that, except for that the tornado took out my first one. Otherwise, I would have honestly kept my first one, because I'm a humble person. I don't really need fancy things. My main priority is to be off-grid. So, told you how to get shelter, live in a van that you convert into a little house van, buy your land owner finance, dig a hole with a shovel if you don't have the money to hire an excavator, buy sodium bentonite locally or online, or buy cat litter that's made of only sodium bentonite. Line your pond with that, cover it in soil. First couple of rains will fill it up. You're going to want to plant some pond filter plants in there if you want the water to be clear. You're going to want to put some fish in there. The fish will fertilize the plants. The plants will filter the water, add oxygen to it, suck up all the nutrients, and then you'll have unlimited food, unlimited water. You have your shelter in your van till you get your mobile home out. Then you'll have shelter in your mobile home. Then eventually you can build a house if you want. Maybe an Earthship bioshelter, something like that. Earth bag home, perhaps. So those are just some ideas to help you out. Once you get those basic things done, then you can start working on solar. You can go to places like Tractor Supply, get a $100 solar panel, buy them one at a time. Use your first solar panel just to power your cell phone, your basics. You can buy some solar powered light bulbs or car battery rechargeable light bulbs that will charge through your car battery. And you can put them in the mobile home, use it to light the place until you get the solar panels hooked up and everything, or until you can afford the solar panels. And you can just go for there. If you have any questions, you can message me in the comment section, and I'll make a video trying to answer your questions. This is Sherrick, just trying to be helpful to the world. Have a nice day. Let me know how I can help. Bye.